Hello, YouTube family. This is Diana again. I'm sorry it's taking me so long to update. I have, just so you know, if you don't see anything here on YouTube or on the community page, I have made all my posts regarding Frank's condition on Facebook public. So that would be the best place to go if you're wondering or waiting for a video, because like I said before, this is totally not my thing. There's so much good news. Frank is off the respirator. He is off the feeding tubes, and miraculously in under 24 hours he was eating and drinking. Physical therapy came in and they tested his arm and leg strength, and they were shocked at how strong he was. He's with it. He's a little confused because he was in a medically induced coma, so he has residual effects from that, and his brain is still healing from the stroke. It seems he does have a peripheral issue in his right eye, which confused him, but even the therapist said the fact that he's even aware of it is a really good sign. He even stood up with a walker and a little assistance, but he held his own. So they are all amazed, and I am amazed, but on the other hand, I'm not, because I know who touched him. And I know all your prayers have been fighting for Frank's life. And by the way, this picture is from our honeymoon. We were coming off a boat. We went up to Bar Harbor, Maine, and into Nova Scotia. And this was as we landed in Nova Scotia. Oh my word, we were 22, brains half baked, we were still so green. Had no idea what life was going to bring, but he knew our anniversary is coming up on August 19th. He told him that, and he even knew how many years it was, so I don't know, that's quite a miracle. When I first went in to see him, he did wake up the day before yesterday, but he was really out of it. So when I went in yesterday, he was sitting up and he saw me and he wanted to be alone. He asked the nurse to leave, and he was just staring at me, and he was touching my face, and he said, "I can't believe this happened to us. I thought I was gonna die." And I told him, "But you didn't. God brought you back, and you're not going anywhere." It was pretty intense, but in a really good way. We then went from, and you're all going to get such a kick out of this, he was talking to me and he knew everything, and then he would have these moments of confusion, which was fine, it's totally normal. And he started looking at me real suspicious, and I said, "What's the matter?" And he goes, "You're not my wife." And I said, "What do you mean I'm not your wife?" And sorry about that truck. He said, "Prove it to me." So I said, "Well, who gave me these rings?" And he said, "I don't remember giving you that ring." And I said, "Well, what about this ring? You gave me this when we had Aaron." And he said, "I don't remember that either." So then I showed him my necklace. I said, "You just gave this to me at Thanksgiving morning." And he said, I just don't remember." He said, "Let me see that." So he made me do the craziest stuff, and I was laughing. He made me show him my toes, because he said he knew his wife's toes. He Then what I started to realize is I was on the side of him that his eye was, he was only seeing half of me, he said. So when I went to the other side, though, he said, "Why are you looking digital? And why are there all these numbers coming out of you?" I said, "What numbers?" And he says, 8 and 9. And I thought that was kind of ironic because we were married in 1989. And I said, "I don't know." And he said, "You're not my wife." And I said, "Frank, if I'm not your wife, who am I?" And he said, "You're a hologram." So I was like dying because laughing because I was like, he's decoding me like he was his videos. Um, he told me some things he saw while he was under. He said they were very scary. Um, which, that we'll see how much he remembers, but he kept trying to talk to me about that. It was very important to him that I know it. Um, and then he was convinced that I wasn't going to come back the next day, and that he wouldn't be there. And so I said to him, "No, I've been here every day." And he said, "No, you haven't." And I said, "Yes, I have." And I was like, this is so typical of us, arguing, just bickering, not really arguing. And so I was laughing, and I said, "I am telling you that I will be here tomorrow morning." And I said, he goes, "Well, you're going to have to prove it." And I said, "Well, if I show up here tomorrow morning and you're still here, what do I get? Let's make a bet." So he says, "Fine, we'll make a bet." And he said, "If you are here tomorrow and I'm still here, I will take you out to a really nice place for dinner and spend lots of money." So he goes, "So what do I get if I win?" He asked me. And I said, "I don't know. What do you want?" He goes, "Well, you'll get my funeral." So, oh, he had me dying. And so we shook on it. And as we were shaking hands, the nurse came in. He goes, "I'm making a bet with my wife." And then he whispered to me, "She's going to be my death wish," the nurse. And thankfully she didn't hear that. He just was like in and out of reality. And it was so funny. I mean, he's so nice to the nurses and doctors. Everyone who walks by his room, he's giving thumbs up. He's waving to them. He's telling him, life is so important, and he's trying to be encouraging to them. He's apologizing. He's just being Frank. So it was an amazing day. It flew by, but we had a lot of fun together. I don't know how much of it he's going to remember. So some of it I did record because I know him. Like, he would want me to chronicle every second if possible because he just finds this stuff like amazing and fascinating. And he was a little weepy at times and confused and scared. But then he said, "Just keep talking to me. Just tell me about things because the more you talk, I feel like the clearer my mind is." And I just imagine that familiarity just helps his brain make connections. But honestly, in the hospital, I had the nurse come up to me she wasn't his nurse yesterday, but she was his nurse Monday. And she was his nurse when he first came in last week. And I was waiting in the hall while they were doing something with him. And she came up to me and she said, "I saw Frank this morning." She said, "You got your miracle." Because on Monday when he had to have a CAT scan, she said she seemed to get real serious. And she said, "So I just want you to stay and talk to the doctor about the results of the CAT scan." And I could see it in her face. So I waited a minute. I said a little prayer. And I said, "I need you to be straight with me. Do I have to brace myself?" And she said, "Yes." She said, "This is not my expertise, so I don't know what I'm looking at, but he did suffer a stroke." So at this point, he looked not good. He was having chills. They thought he was having seizures because the chills were so intense, but it wasn't. So he was on an EEG. There was no seizure activity. So it was like, what is actually happening? And then, I didn't know, was this a new thing? Did this happen while he was under? I didn't know anything. And she was the sweetest thing. She just hugged me. And then she called the chaplain and we prayed over Frank. And I gathered myself together and I said, well, I got to deal with this. So when the neurologist came in, he assured me that the stroke happened. They can tell the age of it approximately. And he said, this definitely happened during the time of crisis. So it's not a new stroke. And then he assured me that where it was in the best place it could possibly be for the least amount of damage. And we're seeing that unfolding in front of us. I mean, if he has some visual issue compared to like losing his memory or cognitive abilities or not being able to walk around, I'll pick that. But I firmly believe that God will fully restore him. And it kind of, after talking to him and he was telling me some of the stuff he saw, it kind of hit me on the way home that yes, his atrial fib caused this, but even the doctors were saying the fact that he went down so fast and so severely and his heart was so damaged is a puzzle. And I firmly believe that we're in a spiritual war and they were working hard to take him down. And God only knows what was happening that I couldn't see. But yesterday, it kind of hit me like really strong as I was driving home. And then just realizing how protected we were and still are. And it's just, I just am floored by everything God has provided with all of you and your encouragement. I wrote on my Facebook post that all the people praying, all the people offering help financially, bringing meals to my kids because I'm not here, is like a medic running out under fire to help save us like we were bombed. And that all those things you're doing are like bandages and sedation and painkillers to sustain us. And yesterday I really truly felt that Frank and I finally were reconnected after that long separation. And in the big picture, is a week a long time? No. But when you don't know what someone's going through, or is he comfortable and I can't communicate with him, that was torture. But God was ministering to him way better than I could. So anyway, I will be back today and I will cash in on my bet. I will remind him that I win this one. And he did tell me near the end that he'll truly believe that I'm his wife when we walk out of that place together. So I said, well, that'll happen. You'll see. So I'm sure it'll be another interesting day being married to Frank. It always is. But I do have to talk to him about toning down the excitement just a bit. I think this was a little extreme. But all in all, it is such great news. And just please keep on praying. And I know I can't respond to all your comments, but please know I do look at them and read them. I don't know. I don't have the words. I think of the verse where it says he makes beauty out of ashes. When Joseph said to his brothers, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. We're just going to come out stronger, We're going to be those weathered soldiers who can handle what's coming next, because God is the one who's training us and strengthening us. And I'm amazed. you know. And the Job is one of my favorite books in the Bible, and I've always admired Job, saying that, you know, in the time of all his suffering, which was far greater, that he said, "The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." And I have countlessly recited that to God this week, that no matter what he did, if he took Frank, you know, I knew that he would get me through. Of course, I begged for my own desires, but I was willing to accept whatever, and I still do. So just pray for his vision and his confusion, and that he won't be scared. And I really am praying that I would be able to get in the rehab that's close to my home, that my sister actually runs the program. That would be amazing. So I put in my request with God. But you know what? Wherever we get approved and have to go, I'm just going to look at it, if it isn't even close to home, that he wants us to meet someone. I've just been continually asking God, if you're going to put me through this, I don't want them to see me. I want them to see him through me. And that somehow I can send a message of hope in this darkness that will just maybe make someone say, wow, where did that come from? Where does she get that from? And then I can be some kind of witness, you know. I'm not, I don't feel like it's not like I've sat in there and preached the gospel to all the nurses, because half the time, there were a few days I couldn't even barely speak. I just sat with them. But I'm trying, you know. I think I do better when I write it out on Facebook, my feelings, because I'm home and I'm a little more rested and focused, and I can reread what I'm saying and not do what I'm doing now, which is kind of rambling. But so thank you for being patient, and I don't know, I can't just keep saying thank you and thank you and thank you. I just could just keep on saying it to all of you. And never in a million years thought I'd be doing this. I could tell you that much. And Frank is going to die when he realizes I actually did this. So, you know, I'm looking forward to him being more lucid, and maybe I could film him when he's ready. He's not ready. He didn't want to talk to anybody. He said he doesn't want to do that to anyone. You know, even though I told him it's okay. Like he didn't want to even talk to his kids right now, because he doesn't want to worry them. So, but he'll get past that. I tried to convince him, but I didn't want to stress him out or pressure him. He has enough trying to make sense of everything that happened. All right, so have a great day, and I know my days are sure looking better, and thanks again. God bless everybody.